we will purchase land and we will become like the seller finances. We will finance to allow people to own their first home. And in most cases, we're going to leave some equity in there also. So when it comes time for them to sell, if it's on private land versus, being in the park, then now they have that gratification of knowing that I can make some money off this same mobile home that I just financed. And so we try to keep them in short term, you know, uh, loans, 5 years, uh, maybe 3% down. And, we try to work with their budgets because we just believe in providing solutions. And so if we can provide a solution, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself,
No.
but
He's
networking
he's
is the
he's
key.
great.
All right, guys, this is Kelly from Hills, Deals, and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course, and I have two special guests today, two mobile home investors. Well, you guys are also in the single family home. I just found that out. So we have Mr. Sly Holmes and Mr. Ronald Kellam. Would y'all go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Well, hello everyone. Um, I'll start off because I'm a little taller than Ron. Um, yeah, my name is Sly Holmes. I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, but I do also spend a lot of time in Birmingham. So um, for and as Kelly mentioned, we've been in the real estate investing space for a little over 20 some odd years. Um, we're semi-retired, but we are still doing some corporate work from time to time. So we'll dibble and dab in a lot of different things. So I'm excited to be on. Kelly, thanks for inviting us.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ron, and I'm really excited to be here today. I've been in the real estate investing game for over 20 years. I've dealt with single family homes. Uh, just recently, in the last 2 years, got into the mobile home space. And Sly and I, we were kind of kicking ourselves because we probably should have been in this space at least about 15 years ago. But what I can tell you, if it's something that really interests you, this could be a great field to get into. You just have to, like anything else in life, uh, just have some organization and uh, get up and go attitude. But you can be successful doing this.
So,
Great to
Ronald,
be here.
why do you say you would think you'd be a lot further along in the game if you would have started with mobile homes versus single family homes?
Well, when we got into the industry, a lot of people had 9 to 5 jobs. So it wasn't that competitive when we got into the single family space. So it was kind of easier to navigate, uh, you know, through that, acquiring homes. With COVID and, a lot of people lost their jobs and they started looking for second careers. A lot of people took a lot of different courses from a lot of different people. And so now it's more competitive now. And so inventory is shrinking. And so with the mobile home space, it's really a lucrative market if you know how to structure your deals right. And that's something that we'll get into later. How to find a seller and then, how to get to that closing table and make some money.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and Kelly, if you know, I'll just tag on just a little, because one of the things that Ron and I found so interesting about mobile home investing was that there were a couple of things that kind of touched on our mission statement. For example, realizing the need for affordable homes because the homes that we were investing in, we kind of priced out a certain segment of the population. Um, Once we realized that mobile home investing really not only was a lucrative market, but also a lucrative business, but also it really helped a lot of, first time home buyers. Ron and I have been very uh, engaged with, dealing with first time home buyers, right? They get their first home and they're all excited about it. Finding out how excited folks are about mobile homes is even more gratifying because you really do. It's really a more affordable first time home buyer type of entry point. So those are some of the things that we weren't as concentrated on, when we were doing our single family. But as we get into this space here, and I'm almost certain that we'll have um, some funny stories to tell. but I am really, I really appreciate when individuals that we've helped or can help show that. I mean, are gratified by some of the things that you can do in the mobile home space as far as making homes more affordable for individuals.
So, Sly, since we're talking about affordable housing, wouldn't you say that the prices of mobile homes are getting like kind of outrageous, right along with the single family homes? Do you foresee that ever going back down to reality?
I think that if the if some of the local and state municipalities, start to relax um, their stranglehold on allowing for more mobile home parks to be built, I think that will kind of level things out. But yeah, to your point, I think as long as the inventory is shrinking like we see it doing now, and again, for me, that's the driving factor behind it is that we're not able to. I mean, just imagine if we could, how they put up these really nice subdivisions. Just imagine starting to put up more mobile home parks. You know, with a modern day, feel to it. The same amenities that a lot of these subdivisions have. You include that with your mobile home parks. You again, you've affected a certain segment of the population that will help kind of maintain the pricing margins in mobile home space. But yeah,
And
go ahead, Ron.
You gonna
and
say
also Kelly, we're firm believers in because I know when I was trying to buy my first home, it was very difficult. I was uneducated, didn't know anything about interest rates and down payments and FHA and conventional. So what we try to do, we try to we will purchase land and we will become like the seller finances. We will finance to allow people to own their first home. And in most cases, we're going to leave some equity in there also. So when it comes time for them to sell, if it's on private land versus, being in the park, then now they have that gratification of knowing that I can make some money off this same mobile home that I just financed. And so we try to keep them in short term, you know, uh, loans, 5 years, uh, maybe 3% down. And, we try to work with their budgets because we just believe in providing solutions. And so if we can provide a solution, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself,
no?
but
He's
networking
he's,
is the
he's
key,
very
right?
excitable.
And so when we network, now that word of mouth, that's more valuable than Facebook. And even, and I tell you this, and Sly and I, we both had to laugh about this because my daughter, she said, listen, you guys were really, really, really successful, about 10, 15 years ago. And your business model has to change with today's time, right? And so you're going to have to use social media sometimes, Dad. You're going to have to use it and you're going to have to get used to it, right? And it can be a great platform, but it's nothing like word of mouth when someone tells someone else, hey, a better way. Man, they really took care of me. They gave me an unbelievable deal. They really cared about me. And so that's something that Sly and you can see how passionate I am about that, because that's what's going to generate your business. When people see that you care and you're not necessarily trying to, and now look, we all want to get paid, right? But I just believe in, okay, I'm going to get paid, but I'm going to provide that service at the same time.
Okay. And I don't think we've mentioned your company. Do one of you guys want to mention the company? And can y'all break down how the ideal deal goes with you guys? Because you're buying land, and then where does the mobile home come in at? Are you buying that as well? It's like a
Okay.
package deal or what?
So Sly, so
So
I guess
yeah, Ron likes to he likes to throw lobs at me, you know.
Okay. What's the name of the company first? What's the name
So
of your
the name of our company is A Better Way Real Estate Investing. And again, that name just sort of depicts the way we look at our approach to investing. We're looking at it from a standpoint that there's a better way to investing. There's a better way to get solutions to problems that individuals have. So hence we really kind of stuck with that name. With this particular company, we've been in business a little over 5 years, 4 or 5 years with under a better way. Um, as far as the our business model, yes, we do look for land, but we also look for the mobile homes as well. As we wholesaling is really our bread and butter. We are really we're really wholesalers by nature. Um, and then once we started realizing the individuals that we were getting homes from also had land, and if they weren't, and so that kind of gave us the idea of like, wow, these folks, if you put a home on a land, like for example, we have a piece of land here in Georgia. Where is it? Is it in Carrollton?
yes, yes.
Carrollton, Georgia. It's about a half an acre. There used to be a home on there. And so we're running around, and I'm sorry, Kelly, it might take a little long, but we're running around trying to flip mobile homes, right? And then it dawned on us, ding, ding, ding. Why don't we just put that mobile home on this land here? Because okay, folks, this is a true story. People will give you mobile homes. This person gave us a mobile home. They just needed it off their land because they were getting a new home. And so instead of us, shopping it to, some of our cash buyers, we were like, hey, man, let's just move that thing over here to our mobile home. So when we did the analysis and the comps on it, a free home on a land that's, anyway, the amount of it is, let's just
Unreal.
say, yeah, just say we'll be probably clearing, well, probably in the low 130s.
Wow.
Once it's all said and done. But
So
that's
that's your
our
that's your strategy. So Sly, how much is the home worth without the land?
without the land, it's probably about 27,000, somewhere around there.
And then the land by itself is how much?
We're looking at, what is it, Kellum, around 50,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
so once the comps were pulled and I had to go over the comps several times, and I kept saying, Sly, this is unbelievable, because we kind of stumbled into this phase of the investing. Like, we really wasn't familiar with, land. And it's a funny story how we acquired the land. Uh, Someone else that's in the profession uh, had multiple deals and needed to make some money. And so we agreed for her to sign the deed over, and we would continue to make payments. And so we had this land and we were making payments. And then I started contacting the county to kind of see what type of mobile home we could actually put on the land. Because people don't understand there's multiple steps that go into this. And so we had to make sure that the city was going to take care of the water, the sewage, make sure we didn't need a septic tank, and then there's permit fees that go into it. And then they also had me talking to multiple like divisions within the county to make sure that we can move another home. And then the land had to be graded again. But there are several steps that go into it, but it's very rewarding. Like once you learn something the first time, and then now, like I think about what I make in corporate America, and two deals, like just two deals, that's my whole salary
Wow.
for the year.
Wow.
So but that's how investing can be. Like once you learn, like, and there's so many people out there, they want to get into it, and yeah, and it can work for you, but there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it with Sly
Yeah,
and I.
yeah, and Kelly, and I'll just say that the on this particular deal here, just based on the comps and the size of the home that we're going to put on there, 100 and I think 135 is like the low end. And again, because of our model of it making it affordable for the end buyer, we're not trying to break the bank on that. I say that now.
Right.
I say that now, but no, that's our end goal. And so with that model in mind, finding homes as we find, finding land as we find mobile home, it's just an added layer to our process because to your point, finding homes out here have become more challenging. But I think it's because I personally think it's because it's just more people involved now than it was before. But it's still great opportunities out here, tons of them. So
So would it be safe to say, either one of you guys can answer that, when you're finding the land, also the size of the mobile home plays a factor too, right? You couldn't have a
absolutely,
tiny home, you know.
absolutely.
Sometimes this land is not zoned for a tiny home, So
Yeah. We keep going back to this one deal, which is so cool. Um, because we didn't know that home that was given to us would fit perfectly in this land spot here because it's a double wide, but it's not a big double wide. And with the space that we had on this land and with the retention wall that we had to have put in there, this home fit perfectly. So yes, it does. You can't just go buy some land and then throw a mobile home on there. It definitely has you have to take in consideration the lot size or the size of the mobile home. But this one fit all of it checked off all of the boxes. And again, it was free. It was a free home.
you can't lose with that. You can't lose.
No, not at
And
all.
then, and then just because you buy some land don't mean it's still going to be, even if there's a mobile home there, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be zoned for a mobile home. 'Cause I had
Exactly.
people reach out to me and say, "Oh, I have a mobile home on land, but that mobile home is leaving." And I said, "Oh, can another mobile home go there? Is it zoned?" They were like, "Well, I don't know. Probably so, because there's
Hmm.
one already there." And that's not the case. That's not the case.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
let's finish up on this deal. So what is gonna be, you're expecting on the low end $130,000 for a mobile home you got for free, and then the land you're making payments. What is gonna be your down payment that you're gonna be asking from the end buyer?
I have my financial guy next. He look at it, see how he's smiling. All he wants is the bottom line and stuff. But Ron can break down. He can break the deal down for
Okay,
you.
okay.
All right, so our exit strategy. So you always want to go into a deal with multiple exit strategies. So our plan is to sell to someone that wants to come in and make it their home. But we also have metrics that we follow. So if it's on the market for, let's just say 120 days, then slide now we're gonna reevaluate um, different methods to go into. So I stated once before that next stage would be seller financing, which Normally, we would ask for 3% down, and then we will closely look at the potential buyer financial, status and statements to see what they can afford and what they can't afford. But the ultimate goal is for them after the term, the ultimate goal is for them to be able to purchase the home. Okay. So we're going to make it reasonably priced, but the ultimate goal. So we never want to put anyone in there without providing education, without being transparent. So transparency is a big part of what we do also. And we're going to be upfront with you. It's like my basketball coach used to be upfront. He's going to tell you what he wants from you. He's not going to sugarcoat it. But at the same time, we can't because we don't want any misunderstandings later. So we're going to be factual
And
with you
Ron
up
and
front.
too, Kelly. Also, there's some financial companies that will have the buyers work with as well. But ultimately, we like Ron mentioned our first strategy is to sell the home and land outright. Second is to offer financing. With the understanding that it's based on the terms, your ultimate goal is to purchase it outright within that term period. Um, we were landlords a long time ago. That is just I'm just not a me personally. I'm
Please
just not
don't
a big
share.
land.
Please
Yeah,
don't share any of those stuff.
I'm not a landlord person anymore.
What did you say?
I
What
want
did you say, Ronald? What did you say?
Please don't share any of those
yeah
stories. And
yeah
I'm
yeah.
just speaking on my
I love
behalf
me and
because
my brother love being landlords. We
all right.
rent our
See
properties
that
out to Section 8, so we love being landlords. So that's guaranteed
yeah.
money. Guaranteed
It
money.
is. And again, that is not a slight to any of our landlords because I'm almost certain that you are a great landlord. You and your brother y'all treat your tenants great. We don't. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's just that for our model, that would be that would be something like so. Our ultimate goal is to get a few mobile home parks. So now, with that being the case, then yes, we would almost certainly have a segment of that, to be part of our landlording. Maybe I'm just too simplistic when it comes to how things should be done. But our some of our experiences with mobile home park managers have been uh, interesting to say the least. So we find that we do a lot better with homes from homeowners outside of parks. If that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. And so how are you going about finding these deals?
Ron said not to tell nobody. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
No,
through
networking. I
networking.
Yeah,
Network.
networking it has been a really been advantageous for us. Talking, as you can see, I like to talk. Ron loves to talk. Um, following, so Ron, you want to share the story about what Calvin did and that and what I'm telling you, it's the subtle things that people will say to you that a little light bulb would come on and boom, all of a sudden things just start clicking. But Ron, you want to tell her about how you go about finding deals?
Through reverse engineering. And that's simply just being transparent with people. So everywhere I go, people are gonna know that I buy and sell mobile homes. I'm in the industry. And I listen to, well, not eavesdropping, but if I hear someone that's talking about they want to be an investor or they're talking about anything to do with the profession, then that's my opportunity to share with people what I do. And what happens, word them off again. And then now you get a phone conversation. And then now I can be pretty much honest about, hey, if you have a home, this is what we can do. So we have a set budget of what we're going to spend on any mobile home. All right. And we network with cash buyers and we network with consumer buyers. All right. And so by doing that, we're able to tell a seller up front if we can do the deal or if we can't do the deal. Our favorite phrase is it's not a deal breaker because we provide solutions. So it's never a deal breaker. Uh, Majority of the time, we are going to provide a solution, and then it's up to that seller to make a decision. Okay. So finding deals. We use social media. What Craigslist?
Yeah,
Uh,
Craigslist, talking to dealers, but again, the
yeah,
homeowners, yeah, yeah, Kelly, networking is probably,
number
I
one.
would say, yeah, I would say to anyone that either is getting into this business or is looking to kind of pivot or ramp up their business. You just got to get out there. And it's not like we go out there and say, "Hey, man, I sell mobile homes. I mean, I buy mobile homes." It's it's just a general. It's just general conversations where you let people, because people are inquisitive too. So once they know what you're doing, they'll start asking, and then that's your opportunity. But I think for us, we've done it all. Bandit signs. We've done, Facebook. Um, we've done the gamut. I personally think that the networking and the word of mouth, because you provide a really you help one person out of a crazy situation, that's five deals coming your way. You know, you 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 share with individuals how you can help them, and we've even had like we got okay these two homes here for anybody that just want two houses in in Georgia. Where is it in Franklin somewhere?
yes,
These
yes.
houses. This lady was like, she was funny as head. She was like, I got two homes that I need to get moved. All right, well, what you looking at? And she said, well, make us an offer. So we finally got the pictures and stuff. And they're like, lady, there is no offer here. We let us do you a favor and get rid of these things for you. But so those are homes that are. I mean, they just came through us through word of mouth because we had helped someone else with their deal, and then we ended up getting these two. But these two, I don't know. One has mold in it. The other one is a 1998 something. But it wasn't a deal breaker. Ron is working feverishly right now to get rid of those two things for this young lady. So
Okay. All right. And so, Ron, you were talking about your budget. How do you, number one, what is your budget normal?
All right. So I would say in general that most cash buyers budget is going to be somewhere around 30,000. Okay. Because in this industry, when we start talking about, we're really talking about fair market value versus comps. It's what someone is willing to pay for that mobile home. So age, year, condition, location of the mobile home, that's always going to come into play. And so we stick with a set budget because we always are going to have an exit strategy. And so if it's something that we can't handle, then we got a network. Our deals are set up uh, based on our buyers, based on our buyers. So really, our buyers are actually setting our deals up for us, and so that helps us
yeah,
to determine what we're going to offer to the
yeah,
seller.
and Kelly, and I'll just add to that. I think as Ron kind of alluded to about the reverse engineering piece. I think the other part of that is what Ron alluded to regarding your buyers, and especially if you're okay. So if you're wholesaling, you definitely want to you don't want to price yourself out of the market because of what you think the house should sell for. Your buyers, your cash buyers are going to do that, and once you get two or three good cash buyers, they're going to set the market for you. And the cool part about having that niche of kind of understanding what that market is going to bear is having a really cool relationship with your cash buyers, knowing what they want, and always factoring in the moving costs. One of the things that we this is what I would share with any newbie. Um, Lead into your negotiations about what it's going to cost to move that house, and make sure you know. If you don't even know damn it, know the terminologies around moving. But once you talk to a seller about their home, like for example, the two houses I just mentioned earlier, lady, it's going to cost us more to move that home than that house is worth right now in the condition that it's in. So you should be paying us to come and move this because you're going to have to pay somebody, but we didn't do it that way. I just thought it was funny. But no, those are the things that we take into account, and we take that into account because our buyers are going to take that into account. And Kelly, I'm sure you guys are running into this as well. You've had some buyers that do not take moving or setting up a home into account. So they'll if they you sell you got a house in a park that you want to sell, and the park says, yeah, you can go ahead and move it, and you throw it in there for 40,000. How many calls do you get? We get tons of them. But
Yeah.
then when we say 40,000, they're like, oh yeah, that's 40,000. Now you got to pay another $7,000-8,000 to move this, right?
Right.
Oh, well, that was my budget. So now you wasted time talking to this person, and you didn't shut out some folks. So we really integrate that piece into our price, whether that home stays in the park or it's on land somewhere. We always factor in our negotiations the moving costs. I just think that's a big piece that some newbies and maybe some folks who've been doing it for a minute might not consider.
So tell me this, your both of your strategies are to wholesale. Do you ever have deals where you guys are actually buying the mobile homes? Like you have a seller just say, "Hey, I got to sell this today." Do you guys actually buy the mobile homes yourself and
Yeah,
in buyer?
if it makes sense. Like for example, if it's in a park that's friendly, if it's in a friendly park, or if it's on some land that really makes sense for us. So yeah, we've done that.
Okay.
Um, but again, that's not the we would do that if it's like a super crazy deal. Because the one thing, Kelly, that we really, kind of is, for lack of a better term, put to our cash buyers is we're going to give you guys good deals. So if a good deal comes to, but ultimately it would have to be something that we're not going to be holding on to because we're not where you're at yet. We're not we don't want to be landlords.
Okay. But okay, so where are you guys, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, because a lot of people are probably going to be asking, where are you coming up with the revenue to buy some of these properties?
You know that old adage about friends and family.
Okay.
And of course Ron got a ton of money. No, seriously. You want to utilize I personally think that utilizing your when I say friends and family, I'm not talking about all your friends, all your cousin bubbas and your aunties are probably not they may not have that investment spirit or fortitude. Um, I'll tell you this: the best way to get investors, and especially people that you know or that you know of that may have 401ks or IRAs, is to show them a deal, show them how they can get a return on their money. Once you do that, you won't have a problem finding investors. But yeah, so we rarely use our own money.
Okay.
Rarely.
All
I'm
right.
gonna say that. I'm gonna say that with emphasis. Rarely do we use our own
Ronald, do
money.
you want to elaborate on that, or how do you go about finding the money for those deals that you buy?
Yeah, we just look for people that want a return on the investment.
Mm.
So when you think about a normal bank and a CD, do they still offer CDs for one
Yeah, I think it
percent,
might be. I think it might be up to 2%.
0.9%?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're somewhere what's like between 8 and 10% return rate, and sometimes we'll offer equity in the deal if it's something pressing that we need to get done right away.
And since both of you have been in the business, would have been like, give me like a big mistake that you made.
Whew.
Getting in the business. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
What
kidding.
Due
No,
diligence.
yes,
was that, Ron?
yes,
Due due diligence. So
yes, or
when we
lack
was in a single,
thereof.
yeah, yeah. So being in a single family space, oh, Sly, you gonna, you remember this deal. So, um, supposedly this guy was our mentor. He sent us to a property that we did all the comps and came up with the repair expenses, and then we took the deal back. Never signed anything. Uh, no contracts involved. He just told us that he was going to give us a percentage of the deal. We did all the work, and then he told us that this is a bad deal. 3 months later, we're riding through that same neighborhood, and he purchased a home, and he was rehabbing the home. And so I would say due diligence, and then wholesale deals with with buyers, cash buyers. We've had people like just go behind and wait to contract expires with the seller, and then they go behind and negotiate a new deal. So that's something that you got to be very cautious of, and that's why you got to be transparent with both the seller and the buyer. Everyone has to be on the same page, and then it's okay to disclose to the seller, listen, is it okay that I'm going to make some money? And then it's okay to, go back to the buyer, hey, I brought this deal to you. Is it okay that I'm going to make some money? And so once all parties know, and that's the biggest myth that people don't want to disclose. Then you get to the closing table, and then the seller is wondering why you making 10 grand, or the buyer is wondering why they're spending more money. Well, you wasn't transparent up front. So for me, that's
Yeah,
what I would say.
Mm.
yeah. I would say, Kelly, the biggest mistake started out because just to give a little more history with Ron and I, we started working together at this corporation, but we started investing independent of each other. And then once we found out that we had the same type of passion about it, we formulated a group, some companies. But I think not being educated in in what you're doing, like for example, what you mentioned. Um, whatever strategy you want to use in real estate investing, and invest in education, invest in a mentor that you feel extremely comfortable with, not somebody that got all day to talk to you. I'll just say that
Mm.
was a mistake that we did early on because a lot of people,
Yes,
a lot of
yes.
people, they'll sell a house and then all of a sudden they're experts, and now they want to do their mentoring programs. So I think that for me the biggest mistake was not educating myself to the point where I was comfortable enough to. And again, getting out there and taking action is a big part of investing. But know your stuff. Don't and I don't mean to get you know so engulfed in educating that you just get paralyzed and
So
don't ever do
emotional.
anything. Yeah, but yeah, educating. Do educate yourself while you're doing it. You want that experience of doing it. Failure, we look at failure as a lesson versus a detriment, because we've learned from but look, we made some blunders. The cool part about it is that as we continue to blunder, we didn't make the same blunders. We just made some different ones that maybe were a little less impactful for us.
I want to backtrack a little bit on what Ron said, that the buyer went back after the contract expired with the seller and
Mm-hmm.
kind of cut y'all out of the deal. So
Mm-hmm.
how would the buyer know when the contract was about to expire?
Everybody,
Well,
and I'm sorry because everybody talks, but go ahead, Kellum.
no, you go ahead.
Everyone talks. So, say for example, if I have a house for I got a wholesale, I got a contract on it, right? And you and I, Kelly, you're interested in it through the advertisement, and you said, and I'll tell you because I'm just gullible. All right, I got 30 days to sell this contract. I got 30 days to get rid of this home. And if you're going to be a unscrupulous buyer, you're like, okay, ding ding, I already heard the 30, and I already see that there's a lot of money on the table here, but I don't want this guy. I'm not going to give this guy this money here. So I'll just hold, I'll drag that deal out, right? So they'll come up with, okay, yeah, I'll do it, and I'll drag it out, drag it out, drag it out. Next thing you know, you're cut on time, and boom, the contract is over at 30 days. Now this person went to the seller, or which has happened to us when we let the potential buyer and the seller meet because they're showing the house.
Right.
Now that buyer is taking the seller to the side and said, "Hey, I can give you $5,000 more." Well, I got a contract. Okay, when the contract expire, 30 days. Okay, if you can wait 30 days, I can give you this extra money. Everyone, this business is cutthroat, and you have to know that. Um, and we've especially early on, we had a lot of deals that we lost because we didn't we didn't we weren't as transparent, and we thought it was something weird that we would be telling people that, yeah, we're going to be making money. We just assumed that they knew that, and now it's a lot. We get better results when we tell the buyer and the seller. Well, we tell the seller, hey, we're going to be sending folks over here, and if they ask about the price, tell them, hey, talk to Sly, talk to Ron,
Mhm.
or and then didn't tell us, because those folks. We tell the buyer going in, look, the price has already been negotiated. Everything's set. You're going in to see if it's something that fits your need. You want to discuss the price or anything, discuss it with us. But once we find out that you're asking the seller, you're off our list. So I mean, you might get that one deal, but you just shot yourself in the foot for future deals from us.
Yeah, and I've also heard of wholesalers like not getting anybody under contract. And what are your thoughts about that? Would you guys ever work with somebody you don't have under contract?
No, no, we personally won't even um, advertise a home that we don't have under contract. We won't even deal with the individual. Like, for example, if somebody said, "Yeah, I got this house over here," and especially if it's a known wholesaler that we know, or that we know that they're wholesaling, if they say, "Yeah, I have this house that I'm selling. Is it under contract?" Well, it will be. All right. Well, call us when it's under contract. But no, you're setting yourself up and the potential seller up as well, because you know,
Mhm.
and we've had that happen. We've had properties that we've had advertised and we have under contract, and then somebody else is feeding stuff to us. So yeah, I'm interested, but they're really, they're ghosting. They're doing some they're taking our property and shopping it to somebody else. So
The
um,
daisy chain.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
So, but,
we tend to.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead. What's the
Go
question?
ahead, Kelly.
So both of you guys year to date have been in business in the mobile home business roughly about 4 or 5 years, correct?
About 2 to 3.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, yeah,
Oh, seriously.
seriously, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So year to date, how many deals would you say you guys have under your belt?
Are you keeping count, Ron?
mm, yeah.
Yeah, I would say we're in the 20-ish range.
20s, okay.
Yeah, yeah, because
And
most most of our deals have been wholesales.
right.
So
And is it fair to say that you like no longer interested in the single family home business since you found out about the mobile home business?
that would be a fair assessment. Yes, yes. I
Do,
think
do, do you feel do
because
you feel that that market is like saturated over there?
the mobile
Single
home.
family, single family.
Yeah, yeah, definitely the single family. As Ron mentioned earlier, the single family, we have, I mean, we have a lot of folks who are, well, let me take that back. I think more people that we know are getting more on the development side of it, than the the wholesale and on the fix and flipping side of it. So there's more development going on now from friends of ours that we know. Um, but yeah, it just got more saturated for us on our end, and as we got more engaged in the mobile home space, it just made more sense to us. But the crazy part about it, it took us a minute to take off our single family investing hat because we were because I mean when I'm sure you know as well as we do when you just uh, get the value of a single family home is easier to get that value than a mobile home because the different factors come into play and there's just um, more tools available to you to really drill down on what the price of a single family home is worth versus a mobile home. So that was something we had to learn quickly. Like, dang man, there's no comps around here. I mean,
Well,
but
would y'all say that it's easier to find the seller versus the buyer? Is it easier having conversations with the seller to try to talk them down versus the
on the mobile home, I mean, on the mobile home space or the single family.
mobile homes and wholesaling?
I really don't have any problems talking to either the seller or the buyer because if
He
you're
he
being
is being
transparent,
very modest on this too.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be transparent, then I mean, I can handle anything that's thrown my way because once again, we're problem solvers. And so just recently we had a seller ask for 20 grand for his mobile home and we was able to negotiate 14. So and and it goes back to the other variables that are involved with this whole process. Like a seller is always going to think that their home is more than what it is.
And
But when we
rightfully
factor
so.
in all those other variables like moving costs and what our buyer is willing to pay, all right, then I'm able to negotiate. And it's almost like, hey, it's a take it or leave it at that point. Like this
Yeah.
is the solution we can provide.
But
And
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
Kelly, you definitely touched on something that I think a lot of uh, beginners or newbies that's their stumbling block, right? Is how to talk to people or what to say to the buyer, what to say to the sellers. Um, because it was so crazy that again, like I said, Ron and I are we're babies of corporate America, and we've managed hundreds of people and stuff like that. So um, we didn't realize it until again, Calvin shot and said, "Dude, why are y'all afraid to talk to people? Hell, y'all deal with folks every day, and it just clicked that." The fear of talking to someone when you realize that what the end game of the fear is what you're gonna get a no.
Right.
You still gonna be alive, you know, you know, so that's what we're finding when we talk to individuals that are even when we were in the single family space was that talking to sellers and buyers. if you look at it from a standpoint of, you're providing a service for them, and if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and you just move on. Um, but being comfortable in your ability to speak to individuals definitely makes it a lot easier.
So tell me this, why would somebody who has a mobile home, why would they, work with a wholesaler versus, I know the answer, but I just want you guys to say it,
Hmm.
versus trying to sell it themselves? Why would they, and then on top of that, the wholesaler is telling them, hey, I'm going to make money off the deal. Why wouldn't they just try to do it themselves?
Well, we deal with, and this goes back to what Calvin, learning from Calvin and reverse engineering. So when someone calls us about selling a mobile home, this is a motivated seller. And so versus me picking up the phone, cold calling someone and hoping that that I'm going to negotiate with them is, that's something, and some people still cold call, but we put ourselves in situations where when the phone rings, that's a motivated seller. That's someone that's going to listen to my pitch. That's someone that wants to negotiate. And if we can agree on a price, then now we potentially got a contract. So
Yeah.
I really don't know the other side.
Yeah, see, and I would say one of the things that you want to educate um, potential sellers on is what it all entails. Like, say for example, like in a single family, you to your point, they could go get a realtor and blah 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 blah. Okay, so mobile homes, you can actually go get a realtor too, but guess what? You're still paying them. You're gonna pay them whether they whether you're using us or them. Somebody's gonna get paid, right? The other piece is time. We stress expediency. If you need to get your home sold quickly, then we're the folks that to do that for you. We're gonna put the resources together to get your home sold quickly. Um, and those are the things that you would want to explain to that buyer when they ask, or when that even comes up. I'm sorry, the seller, when that even comes up, is why would I give you the rights to sell my home? And
And
again,
all,
time. I value my time. I told Ron did something the other day that he did for somebody, and he charged him, I can't even say the word, $15. I hope is his wife listening, because I know she's mad. He charged him $15. I said, "Well, dang, Ron, how long did it take you to do that?" He said, "Well, I don't know, about 3 hours." I said, "Damn, man, you making $5 an hour now, huh?" So,
Wow.
but he did it. He did it out of kindness and whatever other
you
reason
you
that
you could
made
you
sense
could
to
tell
him.
us, lot. You could tell her what I did because I know you want to.
No, man, I'm not gonna do that because you
Oh,
got
come on,
so
let's tell it.
so Ron was putting together a business. Was it a business plan or a um
So it's a business plan for a coffee shop.
but it was the cost analysis that he had generated for this person, that startup cost. All right. And granted, yes, you can, again, he's a numbers guy. He like this little crazy.
Uh-oh. Look like we done lost him.
Um, and
He'll come
and
back.
and I guess he was just tinkering with the whole idea of, well, maybe somebody might actually pay for this. I'm like, yeah, people pay for stuff. They pay for information. And he just threw out, I don't know how $15 came out of his mouth, but he threw out $15. And what do you think that person said?
That's cheap.
Yep. Yeah. Gave him the
And then,
$15, and then
then
when
at
they
that
saw,
dollar amount,
yep.
they're gonna be like, is it,
Now that's what,
good?
yeah, there you go. That's what most people be like, hey, free might not be free, right? But when the person saw the end product of what this man had given them, they were like, dang. And I said, Ron, that's my point here, So,
Exactly.
so yeah,
And
he
and
So
yeah,
and
where,
just
where do you guys see yourselves like 5 years down the road in the mobile home business? Where do you see yourselves?
and Kelly, before I answer that question,
Uh-huh.
uh, and I just want to go back to the prior topic. I actually had a real estate agent from Alabama call me. She had a mobile home, and
Oh
she
yeah.
called us
Yeah.
to inquire about our services because she couldn't sell the mobile home. And once I put the package together for her, and it just came down to her disclosing what was the slide? The
She
mortgage company
yeah, she
and
didn't want to know.
something
She
else
didn't. Yeah.
she didn't want to disclose. And then we didn't, but she liked the numbers and the package that I put together, but she wanted to wait until, and I had a buyer ready to go, and we didn't go through with the deal. But so we have real estate agents calling us to
Mm.
help
Yeah.
move some of their mobile homes because they can't move them because
Okay.
they're looking at it from a standpoint when they run comps, half the time they can't find comps. And so they don't know how to price it. And so that's one of the other services that uh, we offer.
So is it not true that a real estate agent can only do depending upon what state, a home or
Mhm.
two per year, right? They also have to be licensed.
Yeah. I'm not that's a great question, and I'm not 100% sure on it. I know, for example, from a wholesaling perspective, depending on what state you're in, you can't you're only allowed to sell a certain number of mobile homes before you have to have a dealer's license. I'm not sure about the real estate agent per se, but that could, because again, anybody on your that's watching your show that's from Alabama, I hope they don't get mad at me, but Alabama is just a little different, so it might be a
Well,
little
it's not
weird.
just Alabama that's a little different. I mean, I've never heard of the wholesaling police. Who is regulating this?
Right. That is, what happens is people turn you in. Like, to your
Well,
point, yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. People
They,
people will turn you in. That's
yeah,
true. But other than that,
yeah,
that's the only way you're gonna get caught.
yeah, that is, yep.
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah,
you start doing billboards saying that,
true.
yeah, I sell 1 million houses a day. So somebody's going to inquire about it.
Yeah,
But,
I never thought about that. Matter of fact, I know somebody who had a billboard, and I never thought, is he licensed or what? But
yeah,
you don't have to be a licensed to wholesale.
no,
You
no,
got both of
you
you
don't.
guys are living proof. So
No.
where do you guys see yourself 5 years from now in the mobile home business?
Like Sly stated before, owning uh, some mobile uh, some mobile parks
Okay.
and um, and still wholesaling because that's our bread and butter. But owning some mobile parks for me.
Yeah. 5 years from now, Kelly, I would like to see not only myself but our team here, um, kind of bringing more people into this space, um, whether it be investing in mobile homes or investing in single family, investing in land, doing tax liens or tax deeds, creating wealth through investing and creating wealth through ownership is where so from 5 years from now, I would love to be sitting over there in Bali somewhere, talking to my little friends about their spicy foods, um, and knowing that we've helped individuals to obtain their goals as far as generational wealth, as far as just really understanding that this real estate business um, is is what America was founded on, and is what is keeping a lot of people in these positions right now because of if you look at it again, I don't want to be all preachy and stuff, but if you look at the majority of individuals who are wealthy in this country, real estate is a huge part of their portfolio. And understanding that there are pieces in this game that you too, as a quote unquote normal person, can get in and be successful at it. So Yeah, along with owning some parks, and that's for our kids and their kids and stuff like that. But personally, I think for me, it's just really having that servant leadership piece of investing and knowing that we've kind of exposed other people to it as well. That's why I like what your show is doing.
Thank you so much. Well, I thank you both guys for coming on here. We have Sly Holmes and Ronald Kellam. Guys, how do if somebody got a deal or whatever, how do they go about contacting you guys? You got a website or a phone number that you want to share?
That's Ron's area. I don't do anything, Kelly. I just refer everything to Ron.
Yes.
No, just
So if you have any questions or if you have any deals, we do provide consultation. The name of the company, once again, is called A Better Way Real Estate Investing. Our website address is www.abetterway, the number two, REI.com, and we can be reached at 706-914-2404.
All right, there you have
And
it.
thanks.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
I
you, Kelly.
appreciate y'all coming on here.